come out different.
Upgraded, like new and
Upgraded,
improved.
jolted, whatever you
All
want,
the words for
all the
like
words that are coming out. It's a great workshop. It's an interactive workshop,
Mhm. Which is
and
really fun.
it's really fun.
It's a
That's why
fundamental approach. The
fundamental,
mental,
fundamental.
mental. See, so it's going to be really, really exciting,
it,
and
it is
this,
exciting
and it's
doing
going
it
to
actually.
tackle all issues, all relatable. It's.
So yeah,
Go ahead. I'm
no,
excited.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, it's
See, I
okay.
want to talk about,
Excited, big, big,
but
big.
this ties in with the addiction. This is just one kind of adventure we go on
So
with you,
so what
tackling
happens?
the
So what happens
addiction.
when we're in this place? When we're in this place of, you know, before we can heal something, we accept that there is something that needs to be healed.
Exactly.
Need something that we want to be healed. We need to accept it. We need to come to that place. And when I say need, people will say, no, I
Mhm.
want it. In order to move from step A to step B, we need to have a certain thing. Just like you can go from one class to the other without completing the first one. So
That brings a good point because people want to jump.
wait, well, there are people that will work
So what do you mean?
There are people that will work transformationally, so they go from one step to the other,
Mhm.
and some people work
Okay.
cut through
Right.
directly through the. It depends each person. Depends on each person. But what happens is that when we're in this place,
Mhm.
you don't feel happy about certain things, so that causes your self-esteem, your judgment. You know, addiction is just like the law of attraction. Just like I attract what I present. The same thing. If I'm in an addiction mode, my mentality is an addictive mentality. I'm practicing addiction throughout addiction to a substance or whatever. It draws more of that energy into my life
Mhm.
from other places. It is not staying only. Oh, I'm just addicted to this, and nothing else is being affected. Look at somebody that is addicted to gambling, or somebody is addicted to sex,
Or food.
or food. It draws that vibration quality to your life. It draws that into our life. So what happens? We're being affected in different places, and this is something I talked about this Friday in my Friday talks. Every Friday, I do a talk that ties into the Torah portion and our weekly and monthly experience. And really, this portion is perfect to this topic because it started the portion of the Torah is starting this time kitisa, meaning and you shall raise, meaning you shall raise your head. So
Mm.
God is telling Moses, go to the people of Israel, and it's not only the Israelites, but I'm talking this is global because the Torah is for everybody. It's not only for Jewish people.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
The Torah is for everybody.
I thought it was like, yeah.
Yeah, the,
That's
the
a
Jews got the
misconception
ticket.
that
The
people.
Jews got the ticket, but the Torah is for the entire
Jews
world.
got
Yeah, because the other people
They
didn't.
got the e-ticket.
Well, the whole thing was the other nations. They said, well, let us hear first, and then we will decide if we want to. And the Jewish approach was we accept, and then we just want to understand. Because there are certain things that we don't understand. We do certain actions in our life, and we don't understand the ramifications 5, 10 years later, or 20 years later. Or we do a certain choice with our children,
Mm.
and we don't know how it's going to affect them when they grow up. And then we say, oh, we did a doo-doo, So it's like,
But I'm a firm believer. We do not wake up and say, "How can I mess my kids
no,
up?"
no,
We
no,
do
no,
the
no. We don't
best
do
we
it.
can.
We do the best we can, and that is
Yes.
a healing to go with your parents. Like I know with the parents, with my healing with my parents. When I was shooting my documentary, and I went and I at one point I thought I wanted to shoot my parents. So what happened is that I wanted to understand where my family came from. I wanted to understand where my father came from. I wanted to understand where my mom came from. And when they come from, I didn't say just from Morocco, but just where they come from with how were they ingrained. What was in the ingrained. Now, that generation is not like us where we have access. And this is the difference between these generations
Look at our
and us.
children's.
The access, it's not that the tools were not there, it's just we did not have the access, and by getting the access, it opens a whole different world. So I wanted to understand how my parents came to certain decisions, certain choices, certain actions, and I totally get it. So one part of healing, of forgiveness, we talk about forgiveness,
Mhm.
right, is, what is forgiveness? Who are you forgiving? You're forgiving the other person for doing what? For just being them? Whether it is good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's that how they express it. You're forgiving them, you're forgiving yourself. But what is actually, when I forgive somebody, how can I bring myself to forgive somebody?
Hmm.
It is important, it is important to understand where that person came from. If there is no malicious,
Well, that's actually a good question. I think you
you
should
know,
figure why are you forgiving?
why
I
are you forgiving is one question, but
yeah.
the other question is, how can you forgive somebody else before? So the why would come maybe the first question, why do you
Mhm.
want to forgive?
Right. It's a great
And
tool though.
why
Why?
do you want to forgive? But the tool, I think, is really the how,
Mhm.
because the how will also inform of the why.
But you can't put a nail without a hammer. So you go
Exactly,
see? So
exactly.
okay.
Well,
So
is this how you hammer,
yeah,
by the
you go
way?
like this and then you go
What?
you're
Okay.
holding the nail.
I know, but you don't knock your finger over there.
Well, yeah,
No,
that's why I
so
broke my anyway.
okay. So
Okay. No, I think that's a good question.
so
I asked myself that. Why do I forgive? I'm like, because I
yeah,
do it because so I can have a state of peace,
with
but it, with
yourself.
myself, but I don't condone the behavior.
Okay, so you want
Okay.
to forgive yours,
So if I came to you and said that,
you yourself, but do you really understand where I came from? So when we're having a discussion about, oh, you said that or I said that. Let's
hmm
say somebody said something that was hurtful,
hmm.
right? So
Uh-huh.
so
Been there, done that.
so the question is, do you understand where the other person said, where did that person came from? Because if you can understand where the person came from, not that it's excuse, not that it's an excuse
Yeah,
or
condone to.
a check. Oh, it's okay. You
Mm.
could have done it. No, but it's to understand where that person came from. That's why I was talking about my parents, because parents are have it's a more concrete issue to deal with how our parents, because parents come from also from a different world. So it takes for us a greater humility. That's what I feel. A greater humility to understand where that person came from, to understand where our parents come from. Why did they make these choices? And so this portion of the Torah is saying you should. Oh, Coco, hello,
Coco.
Coco. So so the portion says you should raise their head to remind them, to remind every one of us that we are all unique, that we are all uniquely perfect, perfect in this existence, how we are, and to remind them, this is a tool when we are going into our dark places. We're going to, oh, I'm not good, as the self-sabotage, and this is all stemming, one of the issues, from the addiction that can cause us to be questioning of ourselves,
That's self-sabotage.
self-sabotage. So
Bullying. I mean,
bullying, for example, is
it's
something that
huge.
will happen to somebody who has been sexually molested because their boundaries are down, and bullies come to those who their boundaries are down.
But we don't know what the bully story either. One of my books is Jojo and Bayou Billy Frog, but Bully Frog. Well, he came from a family that always spoke badly, so it was a learned behavior. He wasn't
Yeah,
taught to treat someone like that. He thought it was
no, it's a
okay to
learned
make fun of
behavior.
him. He
Exactly,
thought it was okay to make fun of someone. It
exactly.
was okay to hurt and play bad tricks on other people. He didn't know. He
That's
didn't
right.
have the tools. This is what you're saying.
Exactly with my parents. They didn't
Okay.
know. Like,
Didn't have
also,
the
maybe your
tools.
parents too. They didn't
Yeah,
know.
we
Didn't have the
reparent
tools.
ourselves. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So one of the things is to look at, instead of, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't. Let's say you wanted to quit smoking or quit drinking the next year. The year resolution. Want to quit this or quit that.
Monday. Monday,
Yeah.
I'll start my diet.
Monday, so yeah. And then at the end of the year, you come and you say, "Oh man, 50 days I drank for 50 days out of the year." Yeah, but how many days did you not drink?
There we go. The positive.
Exactly. How many days did you not drink? How many days were
Yeah.
you sober? 306 and 10 days
Or
or
three
15
hours.
or 3 hours, whatever that is. You start with that. Lift their head because they are unique. They are even above animals. If you look at the animals, their head is always down in the ground. They always walk with their heads pointed towards the ground. Well, Giraffe, no, but
or a
eventually
lion.
giraffe too. No, but they're
They're
to the
seeking.
ground.
They
They're
have a
45
purpose.
angle degree. They have a purpose.
Yes.
They have a purpose and they have a calling. And the purpose is to be born, to live, to hunt, to eat and die, bring babies and die. A chicken doesn't get up in the morning and say, "Oh, today I'm going to be a lion, arr, and
Wouldn't
I'm
that be
going
nice?
to." Well, then, and then
Unless he's an actor.
as an actor, well, he's born chicken and he's going to die chicken. Is
Yeah.
but
One way or
we
another.
one word there on the plate or on the stand.
Oh, gee,
Ah! Ah.
we're
Anyway,
on a farm.
anyway, but human, we can create and ruin a world. We can create worlds. Our
Mm.
separation from the animal kingdom is with our speech, not communication, speech, because animals
What do you
can
mean by
communicate,
that?
because
Oh, right.
animals can communicate with their own language. But our speech is what makes us, let's create God in our image. What makes us the image of God? Why is not the speech? The speech is what, because the 10 utterances were the word created. So to remember that we are unique. We are unique. Now, another example that they're talking in the portion is it's about bringing half a shekel. Think about half a dollar to build the temple. Now, doesn't matter poor or rich. Half. Why half? Because half is a representation of your potential. The remaining half is what you do with your potential.
Mm.
Is can you cultivate your potential? You cannot go to a field and pick a barley and drink it. You have to drink beer, you have to process it, you have to make it. So everything is your potential. You cannot take flour and you can take flour and water, stand in front of the fire and let the fire bake the bread in your tummy. But that
Isn't
does
that
not.
how a baby's born?
That's how a baby's born. Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So 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 this place of half a shekel is our potential. We were put here as potential. When we're talking about our gifts, the gifts for music, the gifts for acting, gifts of voice, gifts of this, gifts of that, I didn't come into recognizing or understanding my voice until the last 10, 15 years. It was part of my not being certain, running away, going away, all these kind of things. So we have the potential within us. How do we nurture it? How do we cultivate it? How do we grow it? So this is the symbolism of of believing in yourself. The Maimonides say one should believe in themselves in the same way, have faith in yourself in the same way that you have faith in God. Not that we are God, but we have the potential. We have the potential to create the faith in ourselves.
Or the saying I love too is I would tell my children, I wish you could see yourself how I see you. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's well,
you know what I mean?
I understand what you mean, but we know what that creates now as you're saying that is creating focusing on what other people think about me.
No, no, I'm saying meaning the goodness, the kindness. It's like when it's believing in yourself.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't matter what the point
that's
is.
true.
It doesn't matter what other people think.
That's true.
It's like when I wish you could see what they see. Meaning, I wish you could believe in yourself.
That's true.
Because we are teaching our children to live this life the best way they can,
Yeah,
and we try to give them the best life skills in the moment
that
of
we know
every
how
moment
we know.
that we have. In retro, you can't go in retrospect. There is no retrospect because the retrospect is gone. All we can do is learn from this moment and go ahead. As I said, I feel like I've reparented myself. My children will probably reparent themselves. And we're talking about addiction. Look at the generation they have. They are into very instant gratification. I mean, I had to go to a dictionary to find
Yeah,
things. They have to Google. That's
yeah,
it.
like even
So
toys, even
they're
going places and having
so
imagination,
that's
playing with
right.
toys and cars and creating a field and
Yes, we
to
were
create
talking about that.
something, right? The other day,
Yeah,
the other day,
the other day with our friends, we
yeah, it's like
our well,
uh, yeah. uh, imagination, toys, games, creating something, having a
like this
car.
paper,
Like
making
we can make an airplane. Here, we
yeah,
can make an airplane
exactly.
from this clay and play
Oh,
with that.
what brings us to okay, back to the workshop. You know what we did as an experiment? I haven't been to Disneyland since my kids are
Oh
small.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so listen to this.
Listen to this.
So my children are 26 and 23. My daughter's going to be 24 in March. And so, as an experiment for this workshop, we
Yeah,
really are getting into it. We
yeah.
went to
We went to
Disneyland
Disney. Yeah, it
to
was
look
good.
at it as a perspective from adults and an observation of children and adults there.
And to have fun.
And it is fun. How do you not have fun at Disneyland? I'm not promoting Disneyland. I'm just saying you're taking a
Yeah,
situation where you went when you were younger or with your kids. It was a completely different situation, especially during the COVID. Wow. Just, it was completely different, not good or bad, just different. But
yeah.
the
It
fun,
was.
that inner child still comes out of, you go on a roller coaster. Whee! You get that feeling, right?
You have that feeling. Yeah, it's.
But it's a different perspective of when you went 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or when
Of
I
course,
was
because
young.
we are inhabiting a different space within ourselves.
Correct.
Think about the mall, right? You have 7 floors in a mall, 7 stories,
Yeah, that's high. I've never been to a mall that high.
5, 7. Anyway,
Wow.
but but all the floor plans are the same. Throughout the mall,
Mhm.
every floor plan is a first, second. But the first one is food. The second one is clothing. But you want to go to your bank or whatever, and it's on the fifth floor. So we're going through the same floor plans in our lives, but with different. Where we've evolved. Also from yesterday to today, we've evolved.
Mhm.
We've evolved so much from one day to the other.
If you're willing to learn it,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes, of course. If you're willing to learn it, but also if you're not willing to learn it at that particular moment, when you come to the second level, maybe the second level now you are ready to learn it, but
Mm.
you are ready to learn it because on the first level you weren't ready to learn it, but which
Shakalaka
promoted
laka.
you to learn it. It's like I give you the example of you look at a rock a waterfall, and you look at a rock that is indented from the water. The
Mm.
question is does the first drop matter? First drop definitely matters. It's just the consistency
The tumbling
exactly.
creates the formation of
So,
like the ocean.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So back to this thing, back to this. Also, where we are. We are now in the month of Adar, and the month of Adar in the Jewish calendar is really a strong, energetic pull and push. It's like the channels are open. And what are the channels open for? The channels are open for joy and happiness. We are, as Jewish people, but also I'll tell it to everybody else, we are actually commanded to be happy.
We're what? To be happy?
Commanded to be happy. Be happy. Be extra happy. And now, how can you tell somebody be
What's
happy?
happy?
Exactly. Happiness. Being
What
being
is
in a happy,
happiness?
happy, happy place, in a place where you are content with where you are. And one of the tools is to be happy is gratitude. First thing, when we are grateful for what we have, how we are, not focusing on what we don't have, but focusing on what we do have, then we are in a place of happiness. Now again, because we're in pull and push, you can pull, push, you can have
Mhm.
this, you can have a cop give you a ticket or whatever, but your overall place is that happiness. So we're commanded to be happy. Why? Because this energy level this month is extra is extra sensitive to our reactions, to what we say, to how we do. So being in a place of happiness, actually, of gratitude. Let's leave the happiness. I see it as a byproduct. It
I do too.
happens,
Yeah.
right?
It's like a state of peace for me. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think it's a, yeah.
No, but for you, you take it as peace, being happy, because maybe your all the years was on the, as you were doing the teeter totter, was
Mm-hmm.
on the place of no peace, all the time being on guard, all the time being, I have to fix this, I have to do this. So for you, happiness translates as being peace.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody has a different
Everybody
perspective of
different
what
perspective.
happy is and
But
love.
what will bring you to your own sense of happiness is the gratitude. Is where we are
Hmm.
every day. Will be the first point.
Showing up for your life every day. That's, I think, has
Showing up.
kept me, when I teach my
Yeah.
children, I'm like, okay, or my clients, in this moment, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you okay right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
You have food, you have shelter, you're healthy, you're this.
Exactly.
So let's go in this moment.
Exactly.
Okay?
This is what
Because
counts.
if you can
This
have
is
30 seconds of happiness, you can have 30 minutes and
exactly
30 days
one thing at
and
a
30
time, a
months,
day at a time, a day, an hour
moment
at a
at a time.
time. But we measure many times by the days, right?
Hmm.
So a day at a time, a day at a time of where I want to be. Of but you're good at that. You've see what you've accomplished today. Not what I have to do. See what you've done today. Even if
So
you went to the groceries,
yeah.
you've done this one thing. You accomplished one thing.
So I'm going to ask you, what did you do today that you felt accomplished or happy
Today, let's see.
this morning?
We're doing this. This is actually something that we're creating. Well, I love sleeping, so it doesn't matter. But what does that have to do with this?
Well, if that makes you
I'm
happy.
not exactly, but
I'm asking what you did
no, no.
today. This
So,
is what you're
so
doing
this
right
is what
now.
I'm doing right now. This
It's
is what I'm
making you
doing right
happy.
now.
Okay.
Makes me happy because it's like a funnel. It's like I'm funneling everything that happened yesterday and everything that went in my head and my heart, and everything is funneling to a place that we can communicate it, and it becomes a tool and it stays out there for anybody, for
Well,
anybody. So for me, it's a happy place,
yeah.
and being this energy with
All of
us and with
us.
all of us, and it's just
No, it is. I love
it's
that.
just a
That's
happy
what,
place.
this is what I ask my children. This is what I ask a partner. This is what I ask a friend. What fun thing did you do today? So
Yeah,
when my kids would get in the car, I didn't start off with, oh, and for me this morning, it started off with a great walk.
yeah.
A great walk.
Walk was great.
It
Yeah,
was
it was
great. We
great. Great
went,
walk was great.
all of us
Absolutely.
went, and
So
it
it
was
was it
fun,
was
and it
wonderful.
was, yeah, it was completely like spontaneous.
And having a smoothie this morning
Oh, a
was
smoothie.
nice. I
Yeah.
love smoothies. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love smoothies. So
She makes a good smoothie.
yeah, yeah,
Makes a good
yeah,
smoothie.
yeah.
So that's what brought me happiness. Of course, being here and sharing with you and with everybody. And I mean, this is what we do.
This is what we're doing.
This
It's a
is what
joy.
our
It's a
gifts came
joy to
from
be
that.
to be here and to share this with you. So if you have any questions, any comments, you wanted to add something to this, please put in the notes, and we'll share that, and we'll respond in next time, either by text or by when we come on live, and
And if you're
please
interested
share that.
in wanting us to do an event or a workshop for you,
So this is what we do. The workshop is for
how
everybody.
do they get a hold of us? Oh, you have the little
So
chip
we
chip
have the
chip,
little thing. So I'm
or
going
put in the
to
comments,
we'll put it in the comments.
or private message
Here, so you have our
Alon, and he'll get
websites
to me.
now. You have our website
Okay.
scrolling down there, and you can reach us through there or through our Facebook. But our workshop is an interactive. It's an interactive to heal between one to self, one to another, and one to our past self. And that
Mm.
could be our children, our inner child. So our past self, our self, and our future self. Because our future self depends on how we are today. And how we are today is basically how did we heal from there.
So recap, we have addiction, we have some certain tools that we offered you in this program, in this project. So in addiction, what would this sound do? What does this sound for that you're doing
So
to close
sound.
us out?
So I'm using the heart. I'm using the heart frequency, the heart chakra frequency, to close us out, because everything really boils down to our heart, right? When
Love.
we're looking about kindness and love and being for one another and being in unity, it really comes from our heart, and the heart sends more messages to our brain than the other way around.
Keeps us balanced. Home
Home.
eostasis.
Eos. And work with sound is great for clearing toxins, for anxiety, from procrastination, from chronic pains. Those chronic pains is where we had several COVID reversals with sound. Sound goes into the frequencies. Every part of our body has a frequency. So applying all the frequencies to our emotional or physical dance, so to speak, is what will cause the to tip the teeter totter to tip to the other side, and will heal and cultivate this place of joy and abundance. And so the frequency of the heart chakra is what I bring for us today. So let's take a minute before we end with this sound of the ball. And if you want to hear more sound and how I work with sound, my website is down there, bodysoulsound.com. Connecting with Gina is through her website, ginaannauthor.com. And you can reach either one of us for a workshop or to find out more about our Unity workshop. So thank you very much. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
For
Thank
being
you for
here.
having me again.
Absolutely. No, you're part of this
Well,
thing
beautiful
already.
connecting with everybody.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you very much. I'm iLan Azoulai. Abracadabra. Create what you speak. Create magic. You are magic.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.